Camera Raw also has a cropping and a straightening tool. If you come up here to the top toolbar, you'll see you got a crop tool, and then right next to it is the straightening tool. All right, so pretty simple. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. It's cropping. I mean, it's not rocket science, but you come over here, you click and you drag, and you can create a crop boundary around your photo. The cool thing about Camera Raw is that it's all non-destructive, meaning that I can click off of the crop tool and it crops my photo. I can continue to work and I can come back here a day, a week, or a month later, or whatever it is, because I'm working on a raw photo. I can come back here, click on my crop tool, and all that extra area, it wasn't really cropped out. It wasn't deleted from the photo. It was just temporarily removed, so I can always get back to it. I can always come over here and change it if I want to. Okay. Now, come up here to the crop tool. You'll see a couple of options that we have here. One of them is the different aspect ratios. Okay. So I can choose a different aspect ratio if I want. I can crop to a 5:7, and it'll restrict me to that aspect ratio. So no matter what I do, I'm cropped to a 5:7. Come over here. We can get it to 4:5, which is the same as 8:10. Okay. Because remember, all you're doing at this point is cropping to a specific aspect ratio. We're going to talk more about that in just a second here. I'm going to crop it to an 8:10 and or 4:5, and we'll do that. We'll come over here. I'll show you the straighten tool really quick. All you got to do is click and drag along something that should be straight. Okay, and Camera Raw will automatically go in there and fix it for you. But let's go back to our aspect ratio here. Okay, by the way, you got this overlay, so if you want to do your rule of thirds, you can crop to your rule of thirds as well. But as far as aspect ratio goes, so we've cropped to a 4:5, because you notice it doesn't say 8:10, but 4:5 is the same exact thing as 8:10 when it comes to aspect ratio. It's because at this point, it's kind of important to know all you're doing is you're cropping your photo to an aspect ratio. You're not saying this is 8 inches by 10 inches. So where does all that happen? That happens when you later decide to go over into Photoshop. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on Open Image. This is going to open my photo into Photoshop. If I go to Image and I go down here to Image Size, okay, notice it doesn't say 4:5 or 8:10. It says 11:14. Because it's using the largest amount of image that it has. But if I want to get this down to an 8:10 so I can print an 8:10, all I would have to do is come down here and type in 10 inches, and you can see here it changes to 7.999. Same thing as 8, but you get the idea. So in Camera Raw, we're just getting ourselves to an aspect ratio, a 4:5 or an 8:10 or 5:7, whatever it is. It's not until we get over into Photoshop and we decide how we're going to output this photo. We're going to print it, we're going to save it for the web, whatever it happens to be, that we come over here into our image size dialog box, and that we can control the actual physical size of the image rather than just the aspect ratio of the image. Okay, and that's why you saw that it was much larger before, because all we had was the overall aspect ratio. We're constraining the proportions here, so as soon as we change the width, no matter what we change it to, I can change it to 5, and you're going to see that the height goes to 4, because it's keeping with that aspect ratio that we originally set back over inside of Camera Raw.